let's get back to work. Let's fix the mistakes that we had, and let's make sure that we're detailed in our process. And you know, every day, just don't think about tomorrow, don't think about the next day. Same message every week, you know, really. And you find different ways to say that, and just to make sure that everybody understands, we got to go back to work. We got to get better. We win, we got to get better. We lose, we got to get better. Is the process right? Keep going.
Keep on going, indeed. Welcome into Birds Huddle, powered by PointsBet, along the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, the Barrett Brooks.
I promise you, I'm in a better state of mind now. I know I was a little mad yesterday. I was hard to deal with, hard to work with yesterday. I'm good now, Taryn.
You were not hard to work with. You were just
frustrated fan.
It was like a delicate approach. But you know what, Barrett? That's why I was trying to pump your tires for your intro. I'm Taryn Hatcher, by the way. Coach is looking to move on and get better. I know you just mentioned you too. And Philadelphia as a whole, we should really get to a place where we're now looking more ahead than back. Right, Barrett?
Well, absolutely. You know, at this point, all right, it's done now. It's over. We've lost for the first time this year. Now it's time to move on. Let's get it right. We just didn't go out there and be the team we knew we needed to be to win the game. We should have won the game. We didn't win the game. Now we have to move on.
All right. Meanwhile, the Eagles, they were moving on and making moves today, beginning with the signing of a former Pro Bowler. And that brings us to Barrett's three-point stance, presented by your Mercedes. Linval Joseph is a much-needed addition. The Birds inked the gigantic defensive tackle today to a one-year deal, and he'll fill the nose tackle role in Jordan Davis's absence. They also placed fellow defensive tackle Marlon Tuipulotu on injured reserve. Barrett, your thoughts on going out there, getting Joseph, having to put Tuipulotu onto injured reserve as well now?
You know, I know it seems like we're going out and get a lot of guys that are kind of older, 30 plus. You know, this is 30 plus. It's not what you go out there usually get. But we're talking about a guy in Linval Joseph. It's perfect for this system. He may not have the jump that he used to have and all that, but one thing he can do is clog up a hole. Look at his measurables: 6'4", 330 pounds. I mean, yes, he's been at the crib, you know, all season, but he played last year. And at this point, I still think he can go out there and do what we need him to do. And what is that? Plug up the middle of that defense. I don't need him to do anything but be that monster in the middle of the defense and not let people move. I don't need him to rush the passer, really. Just stop the run. We need to stop the bleeding on first down. And I think he can do that. I mean, he's been very successful in all his tenure in the NFL. I remember when he got drafted by the Giants, he came in and was very productive there. Went to Minnesota, was productive there. Even last year, he had a little production. He's not a guy that's going to blow you out the water. We need not look for him to be like a Warren Sapp-esque type of player. We don't need that type of player. We need somebody that can stop the run. And that's exactly what, once he gets going one way, he's going to stay going that way. You can't stop him from going that way. And that's the biggest thing we need in the middle of the defense. Somebody to go in and be that immovable rock right there in the middle. Be the rock of Gibraltar right there in the middle of the defense. That way, if a runner's running, they have to bow out a little bit because he's there doing his job and stopping from running in the middle of our defense. That's what his essentially going to be. I mean, Davis will be back in about 2 weeks? But until then, I don't want to drop any more games. We got to stop the bleeding on first and second down. It was our Achilles heel last year. We had so many times where the defense couldn't get on time and stop the pass because they had so much production on first and second down, especially first down, when they were getting 6 yards a pop last year. This year, I mean, you look at that Washington team, they were able to run the ball successfully on first and second down, which opened up the third down. That's why they were 9 for 12 in the first half with third down conversions.
Yeah.
So, yes, we needed somebody in the middle of the defense. Thank you. He's there now.
Cork it up, Joseph. All right, let's move on to number 2. It'll be a group effort to try to replace Dallas Goedert, though the tight end was officially placed on injured reserve today. A lot of injured reserve talk, meaning he'll miss at least the next 4 games. Here are Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts on trying to replace number 88.
He was having a great year, right? To me, he's having a top 3, top 5, top 2, whatever you want, top 1 at tight end year. So, you know, that stinks for us as a team. It stinks for Dallas. You know, so how do we replace him, right? You can't.
You know, it's a guy that can't be replaced. For us, we have to trust in everybody and their opportunities and taking advantage of the opportunities coming their way, continue to play team football. I think we try and go out there and play complementary football, so just continue to do that.
All right, Barrett, those are some big shoes to fill when it comes to Dallas Goedert. Here's what the Eagles have in-house to attempt to fill them. Stoll, Calcaterra, and Tyree Jackson. Your laugh, I think, says more than your thoughts could, but please elaborate.
Right. I'm looking at your face like, is that?
No, that's not a knock on him, but Dallas Goedert's like a top 2, 3 in the league among tight ends right now?
Absolutely, and Taryn, that's the big thing. They're not going to be able to replace a guy that, one of the top 3 tight ends in the league. They won't be able to do that. But Jack Stoll can go out there, very good as a run blocker. He can catch also. We kind of limited his catches simply because he had a guy in front of him that was so good. So on 11 personnel, which they run a lot on this team, 11 personnel, they had, for the most part, Dallas Goedert in there. That means 1 running back, 1 tight end. He's not going to get those type of reps. It wasn't until we got into like 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends, that we could use both of them on the field. You give Jack Stoll a chance, he can go out there and be productive as far as catching the ball. Leaving Nebraska, he was more of an inline blocker as opposed to going out there and being a guy who can go out there and catch. I believe he can. I believe he can catch. He's the number 1 tight end now. They're going to have to go forward with him. He just won't be the threat that Dallas Goedert was. The other 2 guys, Calcaterra, he's a rookie. He's a young guy. He's still got a lot to learn as far as being a tight end and blocking on the line of scrimmage, block on the outside. He has a lot to learn, but he can go out there and catch. He can stretch the field. He can get yak yardage. Those are things that he can contribute in. Jackson's another guy that can go out there and be a great pass catcher. I don't know about his blocking. I haven't seen him block. He got hurt last year at the end of the year. Didn't do much during the year. But these are guys that can come in and fill the shoes for what this offense needs right now. Can they beat, and fill the shoes that, left by Dallas Goedert? I would think not to the level of Dallas Goedert, but they're very good players. They wouldn't be on this team if they weren't very good players. I can see them being very useful. And in the passing game, Grant Calcaterra and Tyree Jackson can definitely fill the bill with that. Jack Stoll can do all those things, good, and he'll be a guy that we're going to lean on a lot for the next couple of days.
They're going to have
next couple of games.
They're going to have to Frankenstein their talents together to try to
exactly
fill in what we miss in Dallas Goedert. All right, and finally, the Eagles have the perfect leader in Jalen Hurts in a number of situations, but specifically Barrett when it comes to this team trying to bounce back and do so quickly.
Absolutely. You never see him sweat. He's not a guy that's going to look to it. He's not going to be overly excited. He's not going to be a guy that, you're going to have to look to and see, well, he's ready to go. He's always going to be ready to go. He's always going to be that guy that you can see, that won't be, shook it up or pressed at any point. He'll be just what you need, that solid factor that goes out there and really does what he needs to do. I have a friend saying we have the same fraternity. It said moving freedom rights and having writ moves on. Well, that's exactly what he's done. He's moved on from this loss. From this point forward, he's going to be the first guy in, the last guy to leave. They can look to him for inspiration because he's going to do everything possible to go out there and make sure he's the best and most effective quarterback he can be for this team, the best leader he can be for this team. We'll be fine as long as we look at Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni lead the way.
I was going to say, those guys in the locker room, they were very confident in their leadership when it comes to moving right along.